Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly Update. I am SuperDerek, and we've got a bit of news to talk about. You know, there are very many companies in Japan that were giving their financial reports this week, and so there are some new numbers and stuff that we'll be going over briefly later on. But first, we have some release date updates to talk about, and also a new list of some games coming to Xbox Game Pass. I'll just throw those up front real quick just to get those out of the way. Just a couple of RPGs, including Darksiders Genesis and Final Fantasy VII, the original release, of course, because the remake is not on Xbox One yet. Maybe in the future. Saviors of Sapphire Wings / Stranger of Sword City Revisited. Got an announcement that it's going to be coming to Nintendo Switch here and also PC in 2021 worldwide. Saviors of Sapphire Wings is a first-person dungeon crawler, whereas Stranger of Sword City Revisited is actually a remake or a port of the PlayStation Vita release, and they're going to be coming together in this like a dual pack. Temtem, which is the Pokemon-like monster gathering RPG, the MMO, apparently that's actually going to be coming to consoles here in 2021. Not really any defined date in 2021 yet, but up to this point, Temtem is that pretty well-received Pokemon-esque MMO. You know, basically there's some indie developers who are like, well, if Nintendo's not going to make it, we may as well. It's going to be coming to PlayStation 5, the Series X consoles, as well as the Nintendo Switch. So the Pokemon competitor is going to be coming to the Pokemon platform, which is, I'm going to be kind of curious to see how that does. It seems like that'd be really, probably like the best place for it to be, really. I mean, you got all the Pokemon fan base right there. Also, they plan to launch their version 1.0 of Temtem in 2021 as well. So that's also really cool, because up to this point, it's all been kind of like early access, as I understand it. Now, Falcom has also announced some pretty interesting things about their upcoming Hajimari No Kiseki, or Trails of Beginning, something like that, most likely. Anyways, it's going to be getting a post-launch update to bring PS5 support to the game, is the way they put that, which is kind of interesting. I'm not really entirely sure what exactly that means, because it's not like they're saying that they're going to port it over to PlayStation 5. It's instead an update. Is this going to be like a paid update, or is this a free update? So if you buy it on PlayStation 4, you get a free upgrade to play it on PlayStation 5? Is that what I'm understanding? I'm not sure if that's what they mean, but I like the way it sounds. Anyways, we also got some release date updates to talk about here. Shin Megami Tensei 5 got a launch window, an even narrower launch window. Previously, they just said 2021. Well, apparently, because of the financial report that they put out, it looks like it's going to be more like Q1 of 2021. So that would be in effect sometime before March of 2021, which is extremely exciting. That's much sooner than I would have expected, considering that's about the same time they're expecting to launch Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne remake. There's more about their conference we'll talk about in a little bit. But before that, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Aegis. How do you even pronounce that?
Aegis.
Anyways, it's been delayed a couple of weeks. It was originally going to come out in like beginning of September. It's now going to be September 22nd, which is kind of a bummer, but the plus side is that it's going to launch with a day one patch adding an English dub. So that's cool. And also Death End Request 2. It's going to be coming to Steam on August 18th. Which is sooner than expected because it's going to come to PlayStation 4 on the 25th in North America. But in Europe, it's going to come to PS4 on the 28th. So if you just can't wait that extra week or week and a half, get it on PC. I wonder if we'll be starting to see more of this happening eventually. I'm guessing they probably get a better cut on on Steam releases than they do with consoles, because with consoles you have to pay the licensing fee to be able to publish, you know, you got to go through all those hoops. I wonder if they'll get better return on investment through Steam, because they don't have to do the licensing thing. We'll see if this continues to be a thing, but it's an interesting strategy to release a week earlier on a more open platform. That's really cool. Also, in SuperDerek news, we're already to SuperDerek news. I have a new episode of the game collection coming out on Friday, which patrons and Twitch subscribers already have early access to that in the Discord server. It's my review of Shadow of Destiny, which was known as Shadow of Memories in Europe. It's a PlayStation 2 release, and it's also on a few other consoles as well. But it's a really interesting nut RPG that I'm going to be reviewing, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Also, I am nearly done with Trails in the Sky second chapter over on Twitch, which means I'll be starting up a new game very soon. Seems like at this point it's going to be Arc Rise Fantasia on Wii. So if you want to see my reactions to this game, if you want to be notified of when I go live, make sure you're following me over there on Twitch. And then, of course, Trails in the Sky SC will be my next review. Also, I also wanted to kind of talk a little bit about a side project that I kind of sort of soft announced a little bit over in the community tab a little bit ago. This is going to be especially interesting for fans of Trails in the Sky specifically. There's a series of books that you can gather within those games that are missable, and they tell a really interesting story. And during my streams on Twitch, people have been telling me that I need to do an audiobook, and I thought that would be a really fun thing to do. At first, it was just kind of my way of saying thank you to the supporters, but now patrons and the subscribers from Twitch also decided to vote on allowing this to be released to the main channel because they thought this might be something others might enjoy. And in order to make it take full advantage of the video platform, I wanted to kind of do more than just your standard audiobook. So I've kind of been adding some abstract visuals and sound effects and other things that should make this a really entertaining experience, I hope. I hope that you guys enjoy it. It's going to be kind of weird. It's kind of like an abstract art project of mine. It's going to be off the wall compared to everything else I've done on this channel. So I hope you enjoy it when you see it. And if it's really not like a spoiler or anything for Trails in the Sky, it's kind of its own thing within the world. So if you're just kind of interested in some interesting story, kind of a noir style of storytelling, make sure you check it out. I'd really appreciate it. In other news, lots of developers' sales figures came out this week. Lots and lots of numbers, and I don't find these particularly interesting, but there are a few things that are of note. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition has sold 1.32 million copies worldwide in what amounts to basically a month, which is extremely impressive. Final Fantasy VII Remake has already sold over 5 million copies worldwide, which is also a really great pace for selling these games. It's apparently also their best-selling digital game so far for Square Enix, which is kind of unsurprising because, you know, COVID. And then also Tokyo RPG Factory, which is a division of Square Enix. Apparently they're not doing so well. I guess the game that they launched, Oninaki, didn't do as well as they had expected, unfortunately. And then their other studio Estolia, is apparently doing pretty poorly, but that's to be expected since they haven't released anything yet. So, I mean, you don't generally see gains until you release games, generally speaking. And then also Sega was talking about the release of Persona 4 Golden on Steam lately, and how they're now, because of that success, they're considering other ports of Atlus games, quote,
preparing PC versions of titles from the beginning with multi-platform releases in mind.
So it sounds like maybe they're talking about, maybe, I guess Persona 1, 2, Innocent Sin, Eternal Punishment, maybe 3, heck, maybe Catherine. Maybe they're talking about like other games besides just the Persona series, but at least specifically in regards to Persona 4 Golden, they're talking about digging deeper into Atlus's library to port some over to PC, and that's pretty exciting stuff. Atlus, if you need ideas about where to start, call me. For this week's JRPG Weekly Forecast, we've got Banner of the Maid, and that's that turn-based strategy RPG. It takes place in an alternate universe of the French Revolution. It's going to be coming to PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on the 12th. And just before that, we're going to be getting a release of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Infinite Combat, which is a game, kind of a, what was it called? A dungeon crawler based on the anime and the manga of the same name. And that's going to be coming to Nintendo Switch, PC, and PlayStation 4 on the 11th. Now, that's pretty much it for the update, but we still have this week's question of the week. And my burning question for you guys kind of dovetails nicely with what we were just talking about with Persona 4's amazing sales figures, and now Atlus and Sega are talking about bringing other games over to PC. Well, my question for you guys is, because they're thinking about porting these games to PC, what are some games from their backlog, from their back catalog rather, that you would most like to see come to PC? And I'd like to see some options for the original, like the Mega 10, not just Mega 10, but SMT specifically. I'd like to see a way of playing Shin Megami Tensei 4 on PC instead of just on DS, because I can't capture DS footage. So being able to play it on PC would be really great. Or we've already got Nocturne, which is coming to PS4, PS4 next year, so why not PC? That would be pretty great too. Persona 2, I would really like to see Eternal Punishment make its way over, but specifically the PSP version of Eternal Punishment, which we never got here in the West, because I ended up really preferring Persona 2 Innocent Sin because of all the quality of life improvements that they introduced during its PSP release. I think it would be really awesome for them to be able to port the Japanese version of that PSP release that they did get in Japan, but maybe make it in English and put it on PC. That would be a really great way to do things. The elephant in the room here is obviously Persona 3, because I feel like there isn't really currently a definitive way to play Persona 3. Because neither versions of Persona 3 released on the PlayStation 2 allowed for the player to control the party. It was all just group actions, and no, Kevin, you could not just switch it to tactical or whatever mode allows you to control the party, because that was the PSP version. None of the PS2 versions allowed you to control the party, which really, really sucked, especially because for healing, oftentimes, who knows what the party members are going to do. So we need a definitive version of the way to play the game that has that, and also has the 3D exploration within the environments outside of Tartarus they had in the PS2 versions. So we need combat of Persona 3 Portable, and we need the game outside of combat from PlayStation 2. So yeah, that's really what I would really like. And also, if they could just make Tartarus not suck, that would be really great. That would be the definitive way to play a Persona 3 game. But that's my long laundry list of things I would like to see come to PC. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, because Atlus may or may not be looking through our comments section to take ideas. Just pretend that they are, guys. I know they're not. But okay, I am SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me. Have a great week, everybody.